Here from thehannibaltv.com, along with former WCW World Champion, WCW head writer, WWE head writer, Impact head writer, back when people actually watched Impact. Vince Russo, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing all right, Hannibal. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right as well. I've had a busy weekend, so I'm a little bit burnt out from it. But what's going on in wrestling these days? I haven't been following it. How has your reviews been going following the lead up to the least hyped WrestleMania of all time?
Yeah, there's nothing going on in wrestling, Hannibal, to be honest with you. I've got it down to just watching Raw. That is all I watch. And the only reason I'm watching Raw, to be honest with you, is because I have contracts with a couple of third parties, so I get literally paid to watch Raw and critique it. So that's all I watch. I stopped watching AEW. I stopped watching SmackDown. I am not a fan of today's business, and I'm not going to watch anything on television that I don't enjoy watching, and I haven't enjoyed watching wrestling in a long time.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Are you surprised that WrestleMania hasn't sold out yet? Apparently, I've been following the reports, and it seems like it hasn't sold out.
I'm not surprised at all. Listen, Hannibal, it's very difficult for me to relate and understand why anybody would be excited about wrestling in 2021. Now, if you are one of those people excited about wrestling, that's great. I mean, seriously, I would never, ever tell anybody to, stop enjoying what they enjoy. But I can't wrap my head around people being excited about wrestling in 2021. So that does not surprise me at all. They, literally put together a lackluster card that I don't know how anybody can care about it. So, no, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Did you happen to see the Logan Paul segment on SmackDown? I know you don't watch SmackDown. I had to watch it because a lot of fans asked me about it, and it seemed like they could have come up with something better since they probably spent a fortune bringing him in.
What exactly did they do, Hannibal? Because I can't imagine it's worse than hopscotch and green slime.
They just basically had him come in during a Sami Zayn segment and kind of play off of Sami Zayn. And then at the end, Kevin Owens came in and gave Sami Zayn a stunner and gave Logan Paul a little push.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, like I said, bro, I looked at this card. I really looked at it the other day for one of the shows I was doing. And I don't know what anybody would be excited about.
Now, there's some fan questions on here that we're going to put in there today. Someone wants to know if you still watch any old WCW wrestling videos back from when you were booking the company.
No, you know what, man? I used to do watch-alongs on my podcasting networks, russosbrand.com, but I really don't do them that much anymore. I'll be honest with you, bro. I do as little wrestling as I can. And I'm talking about today's wrestling from the past. Listen, man, I said it a long time ago. I got into podcasting 7 years ago, and I saw the road that wrestling was going down. And I made a decision. I was like, I'm not going to put my eggs in the wrestling basket. I'm going to put my eggs in the Vince Russo basket. So when you, subscribe to russosbrand.com or Patreon, you're getting me and you're getting things I'm interested in. If there's a topic in wrestling worth discussing, I'll discuss it. But no, bro, I don't go back and watch old videos.
Before I get into some more fan questions, I know you're a huge Kiss fan. Could you tell us a little bit about how you became a fan of Kiss and maybe some of the concerts you've been to over the years?
It's funny, Hannibal. I can remember, bro. I am not kidding you. I can remember going back to probably the 4th grade. It would probably have been, man, bro, 1972, maybe. It was 4th or 5th grade. And I remember Larry Huggins telling me all about this band Kiss. And I remember the album. At that time, they just had Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, and Dressed to Kill. Bro, I really thought like it was some kind of satanic band that like I would have never listened to in my life. Bro, I remember on my 16th birthday, I got my driver's license and I bought my very first Kiss album, Rock and Roll Over. And I went home and I played Rock and Roll Over, and I played it over and over again. And bro, I was hooked. My entire room, every inch of the wall was covered in Kiss photos. I believe my first concert, bro, was, I think it was the end of 77, right around December of 77, I believe. They played 3 nights at the Garden. And me and my friend went to the first night and the third night. Those were the first Kiss concerts I ever went to. I was blown away. I was a Kiss fan for life. Since then, I've probably seen them about 20 times, bro. It's been a rocky relationship, Hannibal, because you're probably a lot like me. I mean, I used to idolize Gene Simmons as a kid, and I'm still a fan of Gene Simmons, but he's just done some questionable things. But I can't turn my back on Kiss, because when I'm loyal to somebody, I'm really loyal to them. As a matter of fact, bro, I just got a Paul Stanley Soul Station. He just came out with a new album where he does old hits from the Motown days with a R&B and soul group. I just got that album because to this day, I'll still support whatever they do.
There's a fan on here that wants to know what you think about the Peacock network allegedly deleting some of your controversial storylines from the new version of the network that's going to air on their network.
That's a great question, bro. That's a great question. Thanks for asking that question. Me personally, bro, I don't care because I think it's a joke. I mean, bro, I know one of the things they deleted was the DX doing the a Nation of Domination skit. And bro, I was there for that. I wrote that. I produced that. And I could tell you that was nothing but 100% comedy. That was not racism. That was not written or performed to piss anybody off. It was written and performed to make people laugh. So I think it's laughable that they're going to eliminate stuff like that. And bro, here's all I'll say, bro. If you're going to censor shows that are on your channel, I sure as hell am not paying for a subscription. Why would I pay for something that you are going to censor? But, bro, it's their right to do whatever they want to do.
There's a fan on here that brings up you used to have the theory that AEW and WWE were secretly working together. And he brings up that Jericho appearing on Austin's podcast. Do you think that lends any credibility to your theory there?
Well, bro, I've changed my theory a little. Bro, and I'm going to be honest with you. Ever since I started following Tony Khan, I've got a Patreon channel, bro, patreon.com/Russo TWC, where I do a show called Better Call Khan. And I always have late breaking news because every time Tony Khan speaks, it's news. And it's the most entertaining thing in wrestling, as far as I'm concerned. But bro, now having seen Tony Khan and listening to Tony Khan, bro, Vince McMahon would never work for somebody who is that inept and that much of a mark, he would not be working with somebody like that. He would work with Dixie way before he would work with Tony Khan. And I got to be honest with you, Hannibal, I don't know what the hullabaloo is, and everybody's making such a big deal of, Jericho going on Austin's show. I don't know what the big deal is, bro. These guys are friends. They've worked together for many, many years. I think people are just making way too much of this interview.
How did you like working with Tank Abbott? I did an interview with him recently, and he said that he enjoyed working with you.
Well, bro, I watched the clip today. I swear to God, Hannibal, I watch YouTube a lot on my TV. I watched the clip about the Scott Steiner punch today. Bro, Tank Abbott cost me my job at WCW because when Bret Hart was concussed, and I literally found out the day before that he wasn't gonna make the pay-per-view, I had to totally rewrite, not the day before, days before. I had to totally write that pay-per-view, and I was gonna have a battle royal for the WCW title. And the story in the battle royal was gonna be Sid was gonna be number one. He was going to go all the way through this thing. At the end of this, he was going to be the last one standing. He was going to be out on his feet. He was going to be exhausted. And here was going to come a fresh Tank Abbott. And Tank was going to hit him with the knockout punch and send Sid over the ropes. And all of a sudden, bro, Tank Abbott was the WCW champion. And we would have had a lot of fun with that. We would have been able to figure that out. But people who wanted me out of WCW stooged that off to Bill Bush at the time and J.J. Dillon at the time and whoever else was in charge of WCW. They stooged it off. They buried it to those guys, and that led to Bill Bush telling me there's going to be a change in direction, and that led to me deciding to go home. So I loved working with Tank, bro. This guy was full of personality. He was the real deal at the time, but he was responsible for me leaving WCW.
Foxo wants to know how it was like working with Ken Shamrock, and could he have been WWE World Champion if booked properly?
Absolutely, 100%. I loved Ken. Bro, I never saw anybody in the MMA or a UFC fighter pick up wrestling as quickly as Ken did. Now, I know Ken was doing some wrestling, but, bro, he was a pro from day one. There was always contractual problems going on. There was a lot of that stuff going on that kind of prevented his push. But I've always been a big fan of Ken's. Absolutely 100%. Bro, I say this all the time. Rock would not have gotten to where he got had it not been for those early matches with Ken Shamrock, and it was the same with Savio Vega and Austin. Man, Shamrock played a huge role in the career of Rock, and yeah, I think he would have been a great champion.
There's another fan on here that wants to know if you think WWE could ever reach the heights of the Attitude Era again, and if yes, what would be needed to achieve that?
No, wrestling is dead, bro. The wrestling business killed the wrestling business. The wrestling business is dead. The only thing that could revive the wrestling business is a total change of ideology. And that would mean, bro, you got to get back to the real world. You got to relate to the real world. You got to have stories and characters that relate to what's happening now. And unfortunately, the people they have in place at AEW, at WWE, are people that have been in the business forever, and they continue to do what they always did, and it is dead on the vine, bro. The world, the television world, the world of entertainment has passed wrestling by.
There was a fan that wanted to know, since you worked with the Harris brothers and Impact and WCW, what are your thoughts on their backstage reputation?
Bro, I still keep in touch with those guys. Those guys are still good friends of mine, Ronnie and Donnie. Bro, those guys were the real thing. Bro, those guys would go to bars together just looking for a fight. Those guys were the real thing. They have told me some stories of, some of their bar fights that were absolutely legendary. But also, man, when you know them, two of the nicest guys in the world. I've known those guys, bro, man, since probably about 1995, and they're still good friends to this day.
Would you ever consider working for a wrestling company again if they offered you the right amount of money? I know for a while you were working with one in Colorado.
Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely. All the money in the world could not get me back to that world. Now, bro, I will tell you this, and I can't talk too much about this. I do some consulting, and, it's all done from my home. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to deal with politics. I don't have to deal with a-holes. So, like, consulting's cool. But getting back into that world and the weekly grind, bro, they couldn't pay me enough money. Bro, Vince McMahon called me tomorrow and offered me $1 million. I swear to you, I would not take it because I honestly believe that I would be dead within 2 years.
Do you think WWE is only going to get more corporate as time goes by now that they've aligned themselves with NBC? And obviously, as the fan already mentioned, they're already watering down the old footage. They recently hired, I think, a female head writer to oversee everything that isn't from wrestling at all. So it just seems like they're going down that road to be more and more corporate.
Yeah, bro, they're finding these networks, USA and Fox, and then the Saudi deal, and then the Peacock deal, bro. They're finding these networks to throw ridiculous money at them based on their past. I can't believe for a second they're paying for today's product. I understand, part of what they're paying for is the WWE social media, but they're still way, way overpaying. And bro, if Vince McMahon can find a sucker to pay him $1 billion, he'll do whatever that sucker wants him to do. And that's the mode they're in now, bro. And unfortunately, the fans lose because there's no reason for them to try to improve their product. If they're making all this money, there is no reason for them to make the show better. And that's why the fans lose at the end of the day.
How was the workload in WCW compared to WWE when you were head writer in both companies? Was it similar or was one more of a grind?
It was similar. WWE, bro, would always be more of a grind because you're working for Vince, and Vince is very demanding. But what part of my WCW contract was I didn't have to go to every show. Like if I needed a break or I needed a rest, I could send Ed and I could miss a Thunder or I could miss a Nitro. I had that freedom and flexibility in my contract, which was very appealing. I didn't have that with Vince. When you work with Vince, it's 24/7 and it's just a matter of time before he's going to burn you out. And that's what happened with me. I mean, Vince burned me out in 5 years, and after 5 years, I just had nothing left to give him.
What would be your typical work week in WWE? I guess you're just continuously working.
You are, bro. You are continuously working. Hannibal, I can't tell you how many times my kids were very young at that time. I can't tell you the calls I would get sitting in a movie theater with my kids, the calls I would get at my son's Little League game, the calls I would get on a Sunday that I had to be at Titan Tower in an hour, bro, non-stop. And that's fine. But, bro, you're going to get burned out. And that's what happened to me. And that's the problem, bro. There are a lot of people working in that company that are burnt to the core, but they're not like me. They're going to continue to do it. They're going to continue to collect their paycheck, and the work is going to be subpar. When Vince McMahon burnt me out, I knew that my work was not going to be as good as it once was, because I just had nothing left, bro. The guy just burns you out to the core.
What were your thoughts on the Dark Side of the Ring Brawl for All documentary that you were involved with?
Well, bro, let me make one thing clear about that, Hannibal. I was only involved in it because they paid me. And I will never get involved in another Dark Side of the Ring. I told the producers of the show, I said, you want to get me involved? You want people to watch this show? I said, I got a great idea for you. I said, hook everybody up to a lie detector test while they're talking. I'll be the first one in line. You could hook me up, bro, but hook everybody up. Hook everybody up to a lie detector test. Let's see who's telling the truth, and let's see who's BSing. The Dark Side, they had an agenda, and they were trying to tell a story, and I get it, but I'm not interested in doing any shows with them anymore. I mean, even if they paid me, they want dirt, bro. That's what they want. They want dirt. They were trying to pit me and Cornette, during that show. Bro, I'm too old for dirt. Like, dirt doesn't interest me anymore. I've been there and I've done that. So, now that I know what they're looking for, I just wouldn't be interested in doing any more shows with them.
Yes, they seem to have a real bias, and agenda is a good word for it too, with all of the shows that they do.
Yep.
But I was a fan of the Brawl for All. I think that would actually boost ratings if they brought that back.
Hannibal, I do not regret the Brawl for All at all. I will tell you this, bro. This is what I will say. I don't apologize for the Brawl for All or regret the Brawl for All. First of all I did was pitch Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon had to decide whether he did it or not. I'm not putting the heat on Vince. I'm just saying it was an idea that I pitched. But I will say this, bro. Bro, we didn't know about CTE back then. We didn't know, we didn't know the damage for decades and decades of head trauma and concussions. We didn't know that. I will tell you, if we did know that, I would have never pitched that to Vince McMahon, because I wouldn't want to see anybody, get a career-ending head injury. But we didn't have that information back then that we have now. But no, bro, I don't regret pitching that. But like I said, guys got hurt and stuff, but bro, guys get hurt wrestling. I mean, if something is physical, you're going to get hurt. But like I said, bro, we didn't know about CTE and head trauma the way we know today.
Yeah, I just remember the day after, I was in grade 9 at that time, and everyone was talking about the Brawl for All. The next day after those Raws, they weren't talking about anything else. But what did you think about the Raw Underground? At first, the day that it debuted, it got a really good rating because they were pitching it as almost like it might be the return of the Brawl for All, but it ended up being something totally different.
Yeah, Hannibal, they don't have the people there that know how to pull that stuff off, man. Look at Raw Underground, bro. Look at the retribution angle. Man, they just don't have the people there that are able to pull off. Bro, one of the things that wrestling does horribly is reality. They just can't do reality. They don't know how to do reality. And I think a lot of that has to do with, just living in the wrestling bubble, that they're out of touch with the real world. But man, when it comes to reality and comedy, wrestling is awful, bro.
Yes, the unfunny comedy that they like to do in wrestling these days. Christopher wants to know, could you tell us about working with Stephanie McMahon?
Yeah, bro, I did not have to work with Stephanie when she was in charge, because I don't think that would have worked out. Stephanie, when me and Ed Ferrara were writing, she was, she would come to the meetings and Vince was kind of teaching her and showing her the ropes. She wouldn't say much. She would just kind of sit there and listen. And then I remember when I almost went back in 2002, Stephanie wasn't there, but they put me on a conference call with her alone in a room. And I remember, bro, back in 2002, Stephanie talked to me like I was her redheaded stepchild. And I knew on that phone call, this is not going to work out. This woman is not going to speak to me this way, and she's not going to talk to me this way. And it would have never, ever, ever worked out if I had to work on the Stephanie McMahon.
I see. What are your thoughts on Triple H's booking? A lot of people were praising him as a genius, but I guess he's in charge overall of NXT, and it hasn't been that big of a success in recent years.
Well, bro, I don't watch NXT, so I can't tell you, in my opinion, whether Hunter's booking is good or bad, but the ratings are the facts, bro. Like, how many people are watching that show? 500,000, 600,000. So even without watching that show, bro, it's not drawing a big audience. So how good can the writing or the storytelling really be?
We've heard the stories about WWE punishing wrestlers or Vince putting them in joke angles. Yeah. Were you ever privy to any of those discussions where Vince would actually want to punish someone by doing something that he knows is going to make them bad?
Well, that's a great question too, Hannibal. And it's funny because without a shadow of a doubt, they're still doing it to this day. They're still doing it to this day, bro. It is so childish and so immature. You can watch that show and know who's in the doghouse. They're still doing it to this day. Bro, I'll be honest with you. When I was writing, Vince didn't pull that because I wasn't part of that world, bro. Like, my job was to write the best television show that I could write. And, you're not going to F with the television show so you could punish somebody or, denounce somebody or embarrass somebody. Bro, you're not going to do that while I'm watching the show because I'll have a problem with that. And, Vince, bro, I'm serious. All that good old boy stuff, that really never happened when Ed and I were there because, bro, we were writers. We were not good old boys, and I was not going to allow Vince to screw with the show so him and Bruce Pritchard could have a good laugh. But when you watch that show, bro, oh my God, it is all over the show. They are still doing it. And it's comical, bro, because they're doing something to spite themselves. Bro, they clearly did it to Riddle last week. And, if you know the ins and outs of wrestling and you understand wrestling, you could see what they did to him. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting and I'm watching this and I'm like, bro, who is the last laugh on? Is the last laugh on Riddle or is the last laugh on you? You're paying for this guy. You're paying his salary. So who is the last laugh on? But yeah, bro, they do that weekly.
Do you think what they did with Rusev and Lana before they ended up releasing Rusev was something like that?
1,000%, bro. 1,000%. Elias is clearly in the doghouse and has been for a while. Oscar cutting promos. That pops them, making Riddle look like an idiot pops them. Yeah, bro. I mean, this is what they do. And I know it's hard for people to believe, but bro, unless you're there and you see it and you experience it, you just don't know.
Foxo wants to know how it was working with Ron Killings, now known as R-Truth.
Yeah, Ron was great, bro. I loved working with Ron, bro. He had so much energy, and he was funny, and he was a great, great, great athlete. So it was really fun working with Ron in the very early days of TNA.
Are you surprised that they're putting Eric Bischoff in the WWE Hall of Fame? And do you think that one day they'll probably put you in there, or do you have too much heat?
Yeah, I'm not surprised, bro. I mean, listen, Eric had I don't me and Eric don't get along. It's no secret. We don't get along, bro, because we're like oil and water. We're just two very, very, very different people. But, bro, you can't ignore Eric's contributions to the business, bro. He's done a lot for wrestling in front of the camera, behind the camera. Bro, I was the one in 2002 that told Vince, you need to hire Eric. Eric is a great on-air talent. You need to hire him. And, this is before Eric was ever employed by the WWE. As far as I'm concerned, bro, I don't need Vince McMahon's scepter on my shoulder to make my importance known. I don't need to be acknowledged by Vince McMahon, because that's what the Hall of Fame is, bro. Hall of Fame is literally Vince McMahon, knighting you with the scepter, and now you are one of us, bro. I don't need that. I don't need to be. I don't seek Vince McMahon's approval. I seek the approval of my wife. I seek the approval of my family and my friends and my kids. I don't need to be anointed by Vince McMahon. It is not important to me. They would never, ever, ever in a million years ever put me in there. And if they did, bro, honestly, I would not accept. There are a lot of people in there that are not in there that it would mean a lot to. So I would not be able to go in there knowing that there are ridiculous political reasons keeping other people out that should be in there. Bro, I'm not a lifer, man. I'm not a wrestling lifer. I'm not a WWE lifer. And there are just things that are much, much more important to me than that.
Yeah, and you're doing great on your own with your own network. And some fans don't understand that now with social media, you can actually do very well on your own and be your own boss. And you don't have to cater to anybody.
Yeah, bro, I wouldn't trade in what I'm doing for the world, bro. I wouldn't trade this in for any other job. I've been podcasting for 7 years now. We've built Russo's brand.com. Bro, we have so many shows. Bro, I employ 15 people. So many wrestlers host their own shows on my network. Bro, I would not trade this in for the world. I absolutely love what I'm doing. And, Hannibal, the most joyous thing is just the freedom, man. The freedom to be me, to say whatever I want to say. I don't have to kiss somebody's backside. I'm not looking for a job. And the freedom that I have to be myself is just the greatest gift.
What are your thoughts on everything that's happened with Sunny over the years? I'm not sure if she's still in jail now, but unfortunately, it seems like it's just one thing after another with her.
Yeah, man, I feel bad about that. And again, bro, I don't think I was one of Sunny's favorite people. But I never had an issue with Sunny. As a matter of fact, I think the last time she came out of jail, she reached out to me and asked me if I would help promote something she was doing. And I said, no, absolutely, man. If I could help her, out financially, and support her, so maybe she can keep a life clean and not get in any more trouble, I gladly told her that I would help her out. But I think it was shortly after that she was in trouble again. And I think it sucks, bro. I really feel bad for her, man. I just wish it wasn't that way.
I had Mark Merrow on not too long ago, and he was talking about the ribs and some of the bullying that was going on with him and Sable by the other wrestlers at the time. Did you witness any of that or hear about it?
Bro. First of all, these are the games that you're talking about. Hannibal, like putting Sable on the road without Mark. Like, see, they do that intentionally, bro. And bro, listen, I literally saw Sable got the second biggest pop behind Austin. And as soon as Sable started gaining the popularity, bro, one of the top guys in the WWE got in Vince's ear and basically sold Vince on, a female should not have one of the boys' spot. And immediately, bro, Sable was dragged down the ladder. Sable was in the parade of human oddities, and she never reached that status again. That is what they do, bro. That is why one of the reasons I left and one of the reasons why I would never go back to that world. But yeah, bro, that's, Mark was a great dude, still is a great dude. Sable was a cool woman, but just, like I said, man, putting her out on the road by herself without her husband, those are the things they do to break you down.
There's a fan on here that thought your match against Jeff Jarrett looked a little stiff and wanted to know.
Bro, he beat the shit out of me. He beat the shit. Hannibal, here's what happened, bro. Here's a little bit of a backstory. I remember like the week before, and maybe this was being a little disrespectful, but I didn't mean it to be, bro. I was just giving an honest opinion, and I wanted to show, Impact, TNA, whatever it was. I wanted it to be better. But you're a worker, Hannibal, and I was telling Jeff, like, the work was looking really weak, and I was like, bro, like, can you guys like not hit each other without hurting each other? Like, do you blatantly have to miss by a mile where everybody knows this is a work? Can you not make contact without killing each other? You're freaking big guys, bro. And that insulted Jeff. And bro, like the next couple of weeks, I had that match with Jeff at the Asylum. Bro, he beat the shit out of me. He beat the shit out of me, bro, to the point that if you remember, my hands were tied above my head. And Jeff beat the shit out of me, hitting me as hard as he could with a steel chair. I couldn't defend myself, bro. My hands were tied. Bro, I went home that night, and my entire torso was black and blue. Like I could not even let my wife see me without a shirt on because she would have lost it. He beat the shit out of me, bro, and he beat the shit out of me because I basically said to him, bro, you guys need to, start getting a little bit more snug. You need to start getting a little bit more tighter. And that was Jeff's way of saying, you want me to get snug? I'll get snug. But, at the end of the day, bro, I was just telling him that because, the work was looking very, very fake on TV. That's all. It wasn't meant as an insult. It was just really meant to tighten things up. But, man, I paid for it because that wasn't a little stiff. That was shoot stiff, and he beat the shit out of me.
One thing that really bothers me about the Thunderdome, which I noticed when I watched that Sami Zayn segment, and it's one of the things that I found lame about it, is there's no crowd there, and they're piping in the constant cheers and boos. Would you do that if you were the writer, or would you just have the wrestlers hit harder, as you said, tighter style, rather than the fake "this is awesome" chants piped in?
I would not do it that way, Hannibal. I would do it very, very, very organic, and I would do it the way it is. I mean, bro, they're even, when Strowman's doing the gimmick around the ring, now they're even piping in a 18-wheeler. No, bro, I would not do that because I just think it really, really, really adds to the phoniness. I mean, you can tell it's being sweetened and it's being piped in. And I would not do it that way. I would do it raw bones, bare bones.
Rec 46 wants to know what you think about Ozzy Osbourne being added to the WWE Hall of Fame now.
Yeah, bro, I saw that. I mean, Hannibal, refresh my memory. Was he at a WrestleMania or something?
I believe he walked the British Bulldogs down to the ring at WrestleMania 2.
Wow, really? See, when I saw that, I mean, I could not even remember when Ozzy was there, but I mean, bro, it's, bro, the WWE right now, they need any rub they can get, so like an Ozzy, Ozzy is still an icon, bro. There's only one Ozzy. There will never be another Ozzy. So an Ozzy rub, kind of makes them cool. So I don't blame them for doing that, bro.
This fan has an interesting comment. It is a good point. They're putting Eric Bischoff in the Hall of Fame. He tried to put WWE out of business, and you were the one that put the Attitude Era together that saved WWE.
Well, bro, Hannibal, we were talking about ribs earlier. And you know what, bro? Part of that is probably a rib on me. They don't understand, though. I don't give a shit, bro. Like, it's not in bro, I congratulated Eric publicly on going in the Hall of Fame, and I meant it because I know it means a lot to Eric. I know it's a landmark in his career, and I know, bro, he was told live on air, and he almost broke down, and I was touched. I know that means a lot to him. But, like, if it's a rib on me, bro, like, I don't think they really understand, like them putting me in the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, just means nothing to me. Bro, here's what means something to me. The number of people that watched that show, the number of people that watched my work. That is what I'm proud of, bro. More people than ever in the history of the business watched the Attitude Era. That's all I need. I don't need to be anointed by Vince McMahon. The fans anointed me. The television viewers anointed me. That's all that really matters to me.
Carlos Ray wants to know what you think about how WWE is booking Shayna Baszler, and how would you book her?
Oh man, bro, I don't know if Shayna Baszler would make my show. Like, I'm just being honest with you, bro. I know she was in NXT. I don't watch NXT. I know she was a UFC fighter. I don't watch UFC, but I did know who Ronda Rousey was. And I was a fan around Ronda Rousey, and I liked Ronda Rousey in UFC, and I liked her in the WWE. And, to me, Shayna Baszler is Ronda Rousey, but she's not Ronda Rousey. So, like, there is no appeal there for me whatsoever. That's me, bro. And again, I'm sure there are people out there that love Shayna Baszler. I'm just not one of those people, bro. You can't give me Ronda Rousey, then give me the knockoff of the UFC fighter that is, maybe 1/10 of what Ronda Rousey is. That's not going to work for me.
There's the fan that wants to know how many matches you've had approximately and which one was your favorite.
Oh God, bro. Maybe I remember having a shirt once at WCW that said I was 8-0. So maybe I had 10 matches, maybe. Bro, the one that was probably my favorite was when me and David wrestled Ric Flair and Reed. And I think that was the one where we wound up shaving Ric Flair's head. That was probably my favorite. That every time I was able to get in the ring, like with Reed, that was a lot of fun for me. I remember Charlotte got heat on me once when she was a kid. That was a lot of fun for me, bro. Like, including Rick's family and, getting to sell for his kids and involving David in that angle. That was a lot of fun for me.
Stony 420 wants to know if you think the Undertaker is really finished, or are we going to see something else from him down the line?
Bro, listen, if the WWE gets really stuck and, hey, they give Taker that call and, hey, brother, $5 million for 5 minutes, bro, that's silly money. So I would never, ever say never. I mean, again, if they made Taker an offer he couldn't refuse to go to Saudi or whatever, I would never say never is never in wrestling, bro.
Would you have gone to Saudi Arabia considering the human rights?
Probably not, bro. Bro, when I was with the WWE, the only time I left the country was to go to Canada. When I was with the WWE, I only traveled in the United States and Canada. I would never leave the country. Absolutely not. I would never go there in a million years.
Instagram wrestling historian wants to know when you're getting back on Instagram.
Bro, I should use Instagram more, but I do so many things, bro. I do Twitch and, I do YouTube and I have the 2 podcasting platforms. I need to get on Instagram more. I will try to get on there more because I was going on there for a while. I will try to get back on there more.
Matt R wants to know if you ever pulled any ribs.
Nah, bro. I was Office, man, and Office doesn't pull ribs. You leave the ribs for the boys, bro. I was not one of the boys. Never was one of the boys. Never will be one of the boys. So no, I did not pull any ribs.
Now you mentioned all of the shows on your network. Do you want to plug any of them?
Yeah, no, I'd love to, bro. I have 2 podcasting networks. I have russosbrand.com and I've got patreon.com/RussoTWC. Bro, these platforms start at 75 cents a week, $3 a week. I mean, $3 a month. And there is no long-term commitment. And bro, I've got so many people on these networks, man. I've got Stevie Ray from Harlem Heat. I've got Stevie Richards. I've got the Disco Inferno. I've got Big Vito. I've got the Beautiful People. I've got Taylor Hendricks. I've got Shane Douglas. The list goes on and on. I've got Just Incredible on the platform, bro. I've got Kevin Sullivan. I've got Dutch Mantel. I've got Tom Pritchard. So many shows, bro. And like I said, starting at 75 cents a week. So you could check it out, russosbrand.com or patreon.com/RussoTWC.
I think somebody's got to get Just Incredible back to WWE rehab because I witnessed something with him a couple months ago that wasn't too pretty.
Yeah, I got to tell you, though, bro, I was doing an AEW review show with PJ before I stopped watching AEW. Bro, he was solid as a rock every single week, and we did it for over a year. He was great, bro. There was never, ever an issue with him. And he's great on our network, bro. He does an AEW review show, and, he's not soliciting a job with them. So he's very, very honest. But that's just one of the shows on our network. I think Disco, too. Did I mention Disco Inferno? Disco Inferno's on a couple of shows. We've got about, bro, 12 to 15 wrestlers on the network.
And John Paz is one of your interviewers, and he sends us some stuff to post here and there.
Yeah.
Victor Murphy says, from a longtime WCW diehard fan, what would have been the perfect way to finish off WCW?
Man, that's a good question. It didn't have a chance to last longer because, bro, regardless of what anybody says, regardless of what anybody reads, it was a business decision. And when the AOL Time Warner merge happened, AOL did not want a part of the wrestling business. They did not want to be in the wrestling business. It was business, bro. That was the end of WCW. And, bro, I guess with Vince buying it, then Vince had the say-so on the creative. Bro, if it were me and the company was sold, I would have just put kind of like the Mary Tyler Moore show, bro, where they left the office and they shut the lights. I mean, that's what I would have done. A little look back, a little thanking everybody for the history. But obviously, with Vince buying it, they wanted to parlay it into that angle, and that's what they did.
Six Stevie wants to know if you could talk about the ECW invasion of 1997 that I believe you were booking for.
It really, I don't know. I don't know if it was so much an invasion. I don't know if he's talking about what happened at the Manhattan Center. Is that what he's talking about?
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah. I was kind of just getting into the booking around then, and bro, it was difficult for me because, like, at that time, I didn't know the relationship Paul Heyman and Vince McMahon had. I didn't know Vince was paying Paul. I didn't know exactly what was going on. But, those guys came in, bro. They all wore the same sweatsuit. They were all very professional, very polite. It was cool, man. A couple of those guys I was really fans of. Like I said, Stevie Richards, who's on my network, him and I have been friends forever. It was a good experience.
Someone wants to know if you would have taken the stink face or joined the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club.
No, bro, I don't play their childish games, so I would not have done that. No.
Thoughts on the angle you did with Roddy Piper and Impact that a lot of people believe was a shoot still to this day?
It was a shoot, Hannibal. It was not a work. There was no angle, bro. That was a 1,000% shoot. Piper did not know I was there, and I did not know Piper was there. And I was listening to his promo, and when he started talking about, Owen Hart, I had heard enough. So I just decided I was going to walk out to the ring, and whatever was going to happen was going to happen. But that was not an angle. We didn't talk that night. After that incident in the ring, I went my way, he went his way. I did appear on his podcast. He asked me if I would go on his podcast years later. I told him I'd be happy to, and we talked about, things at length. But that was not a work, man. That was 100% real.
That may have been the best segment in the history of Impact.
Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. And if it were a work, I would tell you. I mean, my God, I walked away from wrestling, man. It's going on 10 years now, man. I have not worked with a major promotion in 10 years. If it was a work, I would tell you it was a work, but that was 100% real.
Pat Grace wants to know if you think Stone Cold is one of the most over wrestlers ever.
Well, yeah, one of the most. It would be difficult to say the most. There have been a lot of wrestlers that have been over, but yeah, absolutely, without a doubt, one of the most.
Michael Trevor wants to know, with WWE viewership falling, how long do you think it will be till WWE is off TV? Probably never.
Never, because they know we'll find another sucker. Bro, they hired a guy now by the name of Nick Khan. And Nick Khan, bro, was the guy that brokered the Fox deal, and they wound up hiring him. And, bro, this guy is a great deal maker. And listen, I'll tell you right now, I know for a fact, Fox and USA are not happy with the ratings. But I also know that Vince knows there's probably about 10 to 12 other suckers waiting in line to purchase the services of the WWE. So there's, bro, it's the old WC Fields. There's a sucker born every day. And, no matter how long those ratings go, there will be a network that will put WWE on their airwaves.
80s Comp Geek wants to know your opinion on Dave Meltzer, he seems very biased towards AEW these days.
Oh my God, please, bro. Like he's at the point of embarrassing himself. Bro, every week on russosbrand.com, we do a show castrating the marks. And what we do is we play back clips of the dirt sheet shows, Meltzer and Keller and Scherer and Johnson and all those people. We play their clips and we read their tweets, and we just have a field day with it. Meltzer has lost all credibility. I believe, bro, I literally believe, just based on things he said, he helps Tony Khan write those shows. He's always talking about all the phone calls between him and Tony Khan. Bro, my problem is the word journalist. I went to school for journalism. I take great, great pride in the art of journalism. And when guys like Meltzer call themselves journalists and they are so biased, love AEW, hate Vince Russo, you're not a journalist then, bro. And the fact that you call yourself one insults me, because a journalist doesn't have a bias. A journalist calls it down from the middle. Bro, how can this guy call himself a journalist, be talking about me since 1991, but will not have a face-to-face conversation encounter with me? How are you a journalist, bro? So, hey, man, the guy's made a lot of money over the years. The guy's got a following. The guy's got a fan base. But I just don't take this guy seriously at all.
Last fan question that I'll say today. Thanks, fans, for all your questions. John Campbell wants to know, with all you've done in the business, how would you book a returning Becky Lynch? And how do you rate Rhea Ripley?
Oh, man, bro. It's hard to say, bro, because if I'm going to book characters and if I'm going to book storylines, I got to really sit down and think about it. I just can't do it off the cuff. Bro, I got to tell you, I saw last Raw the Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler exchange. Bro, this wasn't even high school play level. I mean, this was awful. I don't know how bro, when I say I don't know how I'd book them, here's part of booking them. Bro, when I was at the WWE and Edge came in and Christian came in and Val Venus came in and all these guys would come in, I would sit down with them one-on-one and find something inside that was very unique to them, that was very passionate for them. And I would take that one little seedling and the character and the persona would be created. I don't know anything about Becky Lynch. I don't know anything about Rhea Ripley. They haven't told me anything about these girls. So I wouldn't have a clue on how to book them until I personally knew them. I mean, bro, they just brought Rhea Ripley in and they were just showing highlights of what she did at NXT. Well, what if I don't watch NXT? And I don't. So that doesn't get her over with me. You've got to give me more. I mean, these wrestlers come in and they just want to wrestle each other. There's no character. There's no personality. So it's hard for me to answer that question unless I really had a conversation with them.
And as far as your social media, if people want to follow you and keep up with your podcasts and comments about what's going on, where can they look you up?
Yeah, my Twitter, guys, is at the Vince Russo. I have a YouTube page, Vince Russo, bro. You can find there's a lot of free content on our YouTube page. And I'm also on Twitch quite a bit, bro. You can interact with me one-on-one. I do a Raw watch-along live on Twitch every week. That is twitch.tv/Vince Russo Live.
Very good. And last question for me. Do you have any tips on being a heel for wrestlers out there, since you still have probably some of the most heated wrestling? You're definitely in the top 5 most hated to this day.
Yeah, bro, be real. That's the problem, with booking in these companies. If you're a heel, you do things one way. If you're a baby face, you do them another way. That is ridiculous, bro. Good guys do bad things and bad guys do good things. So like if you're a heel and even if you're a baby face, bro, the most important thing is staying true to your character. You always have to react or act or say in the boots of your character. You've got to stay true to the character. In wrestling today, especially WWE, bro, they don't stay true to the characters, and that's why a lot of the characters are just unbelievable.
Very good. Great stuff. I always like hearing your opinions on everything. I'll let you close this up however you want. Thanks a lot for coming on again.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to tell you this, man. In podcasting, listen, bro, there are a lot of podcasts out there where people are auditioning for jobs. They're walking a tightrope, bro, because they got one last run, or maybe they'll be hired. Listen, there are a lot of podcasts out there that were done for that person, to showcase somebody to get a job back with the WWE or AEW. Bro, if you want the truth, if you want the cold hard truth, you're going to get it at russosbrand.com. There is no politicking. We're not looking for jobs, bro. We're looking to be truthful and honest. I am not going to have a subscription base, bro, where I am going to be working my subscribers because I'm hoping to get hired by a wrestling company. You want truth, bro, and you want pros. As I said, man, we've got like 15 former wrestlers and current wrestlers, on the network. So, guys, you want truth, just go to russosbrand.com or patreon.com/RussoTWC, starting at 75 cents a week.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed.